Hey skiers, it's Bob with SkiEssentials.com. Welcome to our 2026 ski test. I've got a Stockli Montero AX for you today. It's a carryover model from last year when it got some updates and upgrades. Same construction, shape, and profile as we saw in 2025. And this ski returns as just an impeccable example of an 80mm underfoot ski done pretty perfectly. These have just an incredible blend of smoothness, power, agility, and versatility. Stockli doesn't really make really wide, playful skis. They don't have a twin tip, but they do have these amazing frontside / all mountain skis. And as good as these fare on groomers, I've found them to be equally as fun in softer snow, bumps, trees, because they are pretty mobile. They take a lot of sophistication with the construction to allow for better slow speed compliance and performance. And I know that a lot of skiers don't really look at skis and be like, how do they fare at slow speeds? People really want to know, what's the speed limit? How fast can they go? How good can they go? How stable can they be at higher speeds? And what we don't normally think about is how skis operate at lower speeds and what type of compliance they have. Some skis with 2 sheets of metal are just downright demanding and not fun to use at slower speeds and shorter turns and in different types of conditions and terrain. Stockli puts modifications into their construction to allow for better compliance in those kind of more moderate zones. So interesting range. You're definitely paying a little extra premium for that. You're also paying for the smoothness and silence, of which these skis have both. Just incredible amount of quiet performance out there on the hill. Built from a blend of poplar and beech in the wood core, we do get 2 sheets of metal. They have incorporated their flex torsion control into the tips and the tails. So those milled slits, there's now 2 milled zones out of that top layer of metal. And that allows for that increased torsional flexion, especially in the tips and tails. That gives this ski a better low range. But strong and sturdy underfoot for sure, full sidewall construction. And as per usual with Stockli skis, they use their rubber dust and the adhesive laminates. That delivers another set of silence to the ski. It's not like it's overly stiff. There is some nice flex to the shovel here. One of the main reasons I think this is one of the better mogul skis out there. And then a pretty supportive tail. You know, you do get a little bit more of that compliance through the torsional flex. Solid metal aluminum insert here. But yeah, really smooth and very consistent, especially kind of from the tip back. On the scale here in the 178, we're at 1,885 grams. So light enough to be considered agile and nimble, especially when considering that 80mm underfoot width. We get measurements of 124, 80, 112. Those deliver a 16.5 meter turn radius at this 178 centimeter length. And I think it likes to be there in that kind of 16 to 17 meter range. You know, it is straight enough that you can get some speed under you and really kind of open things up a little bit. But it also does not have any issues with making shorter carved or shorter skidded turns because it's lighter. So you can kind of, it's not overly demanding that it's making you do carved turns all the time. You can get those edges sideways and get it to slide around a little bit, which I think is a big bonus. Nice positive long camber underfoot, just a huge effective edge that adds to the smoothness and stability. You know, Stockli calls this tip rocker, I don't know, just a tiny bit. And then just a rounder taper shape, but no real early taper to speak of. The tail is a lot more kind of race-oriented, flat, square, minimal splay back there, just enough to allow for somewhat easy release from the turns. But in general, this thing likes to finish a turn quite cleanly and with purpose. Yeah, just a much more of a front side oriented look, but the construction allows it to be more amenable to different styles of skiing. We do have some tester feedback here. Benny Wax calls it a solid and stable ride. Nice and consistent feel as the snow texture and surface was changing due to elevations, temperature, and sunshine. Yeah, good point there. I think that a lot of people, when they go out skiing, it doesn't stay the same the whole day. If you're out there from bell to bell, you're going to see some different conditions from start to finish. Whether it gets warmer, it might get colder and start snowing throughout the day. For the most part, there's going to be some type of change. And so having a ski that has a consistent feel that can adapt is a huge benefit. And that's where something like this Montero AX really comes in handy at 80 millimeters underfoot. So yeah, ideally suited for groomers, but really good in bumps and trees. And I've had some good success in softer snow, kind of like drier powder. This thing plows right through and finds the bottom really, really well. Yeah, awesome ski. Make sure to check out the Stockli Montero AX here at SkiEssentials.com, and we will see you out there on the hill. Bye.